What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the You're Still Here podcast. You know, many times I've told you over the last couple of months, I said there's nothing better than the month of October. It's my favorite month. It should be everybody's favorite month. And the month was so fantastic. It went by so quick that there wasn't even an episode of the podcast. But what actually happened, it's not really hard to tell. I do a lot of videos. I do a lot of sports videos come the fall, and when football and hockey's on, there just aren't enough days in the week. And then kind of as that slows down, I could ramp up the podcasts again. But you know, I have been putting a bunch of stuff out. I do this show on Fridays where I get to integrate this podcast with the sports betting podcast. It's a show that I didn't title, but I'm sticking with the title that they gave, called Francess and Friends, because I learned that Francess and Friends is this kind of biblical show covering current events from a biblical perspective. And if anybody searched for that and stumbled upon the new Francess and Friends, they really were in for a treat, because it was not through the lens of a biblical perspective. It was through the lens of, you know, there's that mirror at the gym that makes everybody look jacked. I have the same thing, except it's kind of like looking through the Ouija eye. You ever see the movie? They go, don't look through that Ouija eye, and you look through there, you're going to see another dimension. That's what I'm seeing. In fact, I just saw, and I just don't believe this, because you can put something out there, and who actually gets to check it? I saw that there's some company in Japan can now predict with like 85% accuracy, they claim, the dreams that you had. Yeah. Oh, really? Really? Do you want me to remind you some of the dreams that I've had where I was on the volcano mountaintop and Freddy Krueger was coming up towards me? He was climbing the mountain towards me, and Popeye the Sailor Man showed up and threw me a can of spinach, which allowed me to dive in the lava, and then I swam my way. That's what's going to show up on that Japanese chart of predicting somebody's dreams. I'm highly skeptical. I'm highly doubtful. But there are certain companies that are going to take advantage of things like I saw, like I predicted, forget about saw, like I predicted in my Austin Powers parody, where I claimed that Dr. Evil was running Ancestry.com. Well, now it turns that 23andMe has been used. There was a data breach, and now people are using the information in there to target certain groups of people, target certain ethnicities and this and that and the other. So they broke in there to see where are all those people, and they got the information they want. Hey, look, are you happy you found out that you're a 10th Belgian? Well, now the others have your information. But who cares? Who cares? Who needs it? I love those people, by the way. They're going to get it anyway, so you might as well give it. Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm going to jail. I may as well bend over and let them stick it up my ass anyway. That's really not the disposition you want to be taking into these things. But we're here early November. We just celebrated Halloween the other night. I got my fair share of horror movies in throughout the course of October. Maybe a little more than normal, but not really. Every month of the year has a slight Halloween vibe for me. Oh, I'll be watching horror movies on Christmas Eve. And don't give me, look, there was a reason The Nightmare Before Christmas came out. It's because there was a market for it. But I watched a few this month, and new ones. I watched some new ones that came out in theaters. I watched The New Exorcist. And then just a couple of days ago, I was almost going to rent The Nun 2. They need to give a schedule, a public schedule, as to when things are going out. When are things rentable? When is it going to, because, you know, there's the $20 rental period. Then there's now it's just $7. Or now it's like $5. But this one actually was going to pop up on HBO Max, Go Now, whatever the hell they call it. But I was about to rent it. I was waiting for that $20 threshold to go down to $7. And once again, the absurd conundrums that I will not rent something for $20, despite the fact that I will put a $20 parlay on anything. I'll pay $800 in DoorDash fees, yet the Nun 2 is $20. Nah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that thing to get down to $6.99. But that was on HBO Max Go now. So I watched those two movies, and they were right in that mediocre realm of not too bad, not too good, both of those. But when it comes to those, I don't have the highest expectations. However, there was one, and this is I've told you all the time, whether it's vacations, movies, music, whatever, a weekend party, anytime your hopes get built up whatsoever, it just makes things infinitely worse. I don't know what it is. I got my hopes up for Yacht Week, and I got news for you. My Iceland vacation was better. No expectations. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to Iceland. Better time than Croatia. I'm like, Yacht Week, it's going to be crazy. There's going to be Finnish girls there on boats. Why Finland? I don't know, because I heard that everyone goes there for Yacht Week. Guess who wasn't there? Everyone, especially not the girls from Finland. And it was no different with this horror movie that I'm about to tell you about. It wasn't just those two. See? Those were two movies I wasn't even really expecting to see. Put them on. All right. But I was told that Talk to Me was actually a relatively scary movie. So there, the hopes were built up. And like Bane told Bruce Wayne in The Pit, without hope, there can be no true despair. And there was despair for me. I watched Talk to Me. I almost put it below mediocre. It wasn't scary. It wasn't scary. You know, when I watched Hereditary, there were some parts I'm like, oh, that's scary. And that show, Hill House, The Haunting on Hill House, which was on Netflix, classic show, season 1 great, and then just right off a cliff when they try to do something new with it. But that first season had one moment, one of the only moments. Remember, I'm an avid horror movie watcher, and I'd love to know who the director was of that episode. Many times they rotate, like Richard Lewis on the toilets in that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. But the misdirection they got me with. You can say it was a slight jump scare, but trust me, if it's only a jump scare, I know when you watch enough of these things, you know when jump scares are coming. Like, open the closet. Okay, my God, I'm good. Close the door, then the thing comes out, jump scare. I've seen that a million times, but there was one scene in Haunting on Hill House. I was a fully grown man watching on my futon at the time.
I'm trying to tell you.
In fact, it's right over here to my right.
I'm not making excuses.
And I yell, ah! It got me really good. Really, really, really good. So it can happen. But remember, I watched that having no expectations. I was told Talk to Me was scary, got my hopes up, and wah, wah. I'm trying to think of the last movie where someone's like, oh, that's a great horror movie. You got to go see that. I went in there and I went, oh, my God, I am happy I saw that. I don't know. But I know all of you, maybe you've mentally turned the page. You're on to Thanksgiving season. I don't even really know what that means. That's when kind of people just turn the pumpkins around on their porch. You know, it was the jack-o'-lantern. Now you show them the backside. And that's it. It's Thanksgiving time. But let's just, pay a farewell to Halloween. I know you guys have mentally turned the page. Well, how about one last look back at Halloween? I told the story probably on this podcast, and I told it on Francess and Friends, that show I was telling you about on Fridays, about how my friend and I during senior year, we went around looking for the please take ones of candy, and then we took way more than one, and a lady came sprinting out of her house at my friend. And I think I've told that on here before. I won't retell the story. But now I am no longer the high school kid, but I'm not also dumb enough and naive enough to be the guy who did something and then complain when people do something. So it was Halloween. I personally handed out the candy. Now, I'm not a Kaiser. I'm not giving out one. Hey, you take this one. You get one here. You go. You can put your hand in that bucket. But by golly, is there an etiquette change if you're the one holding out the bucket versus, oh, I'm taking the dog for a walk, and you leave a little something on the porch? I love how people say hatred is learned. This stuff is learned. Oh, yeah? Show kids a bucket on Halloween and see what they do. And I don't want to hear, oh, but it's Hallows Eve. It's like the one night. Yeah, that's what Halloween is. It's like the Purge for kids. They're acting like criminals out there. And I know what I'm going to do because I took the dog for a walk. I came back and it was ravaged, but I'm not dumb enough. I factored in potential ravaging and I only left out a third full bowl. I'm like, let's see if they're absolute savages. Because if you leave out a full bowl and they destroy it, you're kind of screwed. I left out a third of a bowl because I wanted to test who they were. If there's only a third of the bowl, you have to leave a little something for the next people. And of course they didn't. So now I know what I'm going to do next year. I've mentioned I'm a tricker before treater. I'll scare you at the front door. You give me the option trick or treat, I'll go with option A, please. Yeah, that's right. I'm going with trick. So what I'm going to do now, I was a treater this year. Next year, I'm going to be a treater. It's going to be treat and potentially trick. Here's what I'm going to do. I once again am going to put that bowl out there, but I'm going to be watching the whole time. Oh, that's right. I'm going to be watching the whole thing. I'm going to have one of the loudest Bose speakers. I already have it, a portable Bose speaker, and I'm going to have it nestled in an area right where those kids are, but they're not going to be able to see it. If those kids, I'll get, you could scrounge a couple of things, but any person who goes over the allotment of what I'd say 7 of 10 people would deem a normal amount of scoops with your hands, then I'm going to scare the absolute living shit out of them with that Bluetooth speaker with one of the loudest exorcist scare sounds you've ever heard in your life, followed by, how much candy do you really need? Don't you care about other people? In like the Purge sirens. It's not going to be my voice. I can change voice in a second. You want to hear this? You want to hear this? Let's see if I can do this.
I can change my voice just like this.
And if this is not working, then that's pretty absurd. And right now should probably be the Munchkin voice, but let me see if I can get the other one for you.
Put it back! Put the candy back!
So now you know what I'm going to do. I have a plan, and it's going to be executed. You don't come trampling in on my I'm a Halloween guy even before the kids. I'm watching horror movies on Christmas Eve. If I don't tell you to please take one. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a sign outside that says, you can take a few, but don't be that greedy. Yeah, you're getting full sentences on my board, and it's going to be in that Halloween thriller blood font. Yeah, so happy Halloween. I enjoyed it. Got my fill of horror movies in, watched my sports, watched my football, and really thoroughly enjoyed the weather. I would have random thinking sessions outside, just be walking, enjoying that fall weather, because there are few things better. I'm a savorer. I'm truly savoring it because I didn't get a huge fall last year, and I'm enjoying every ounce of it. But I know who's around the corner. You know who's around the corner too. But we're not really going to think about that because we have other things to think about, especially a guy like myself, and you log online and you see this list of unacceptable places that you can take a girl on a first date. You can't take girls to any of these places. So what I'm going to do, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a viral list. A girl came out. I don't know who the hell it was. Who knows? I'm guessing TikTok. She came out and said, here's the list of places you can't take me or other girls on a first date. I'm going to go through all of these. Why not? It's been a while since I've been. Hey, we have a whole October to go through. I'm going to agree with some of them, but when some of them are horse shit, I'm going to call it out. And wouldn't it be interesting? How about, do you know what would happen if I made a list, if I made the guys' equivalent of things girls can't do coming into this first date? Or how about I say, can't have pictures where they look like the Joker because there are that many filters on them on their dating profile. I can keep going. I can keep going. But you want to know why I'm not going to do that? Because then I would be an absolute prick. But when you're a girl, you can just have every last thing under the sun. And that's just the way it is. But let's go down this list because I'm going to agree with them. Number 1, Cheesecake Factory. Yeah, I'm not asking somebody out and taking them to a place that they went after the big soccer win when they were in 7th grade. Same goes for number 2 and 3, Applebee's and Chili's. I'm not going on a first date to Chipotle. That's number 4. What are we getting? Double stuffed burritos on a first date? You think this girl oh yeah, and then I got all dressed up all nice. So I'm with them for this. Olive Garden, just lump those together. Just lump that as chalky, cheap restaurants. But chalky restaurants, that's fine. Number 6, the movies. I'll call this one a draw because obviously you probably want to, if I don't know this person, hi, Andy, it's nice to meet you. All right, here we go inside. And now we're watching The Purge, and I've learned nothing other than we just watched The Purge. And then what are you going to do after that? So I agree with that. Your house. Okay, yeah, you can't just be saying, oh, cool, we're going to have a first date. Why don't you just come over? I'll get to know you real well. Yeah, that's not scary at all. Any fast food chain. Okay, you know what? I'm going to revise everything. Basically, all these things can be lumped into, don't take me to a shitty place to eat. Any fast food chain, number 8. Buffalo Wild Wings, number 9. Did you have to make a 9 and 10 with Buffalo Wild Wings and then Wingstop? You think we couldn't deduce that one and the other were interchangeable? Red Lobster. Okay, do you want me to keep going? Yes, IHOP. Oh, interesting. Number 14, Denny's. Denny's. Did I tell you the Denny's story? The girl out in California. I lived outside of Manhattan Beach, California. And you can just Google it. You want scenic view. People will go on vacation there. You will go on vacation there and say, wow, what a pretty vacation spot. I lived very close to there. Very, very close to there. So this girl finally says she'll hang out one night. She gets to where I live, and I say, hey, you want to go to the pier at Manhattan Beach? Is this on the list too? Is this on the... people, there are postcards with the pier at Manhattan Beach on it, so I don't think that's a bad place to take someone. And if it is, screw you. So I ask her if she wants to do that. She goes, I was thinking we can go to Denny's. And I was like, what? But you want to know the difference between me, her, guys, girls? Because not only did we go to Denny's, I ordered whatever the hell they had there. And I'm like, all right, you want to... I didn't give two shit. Guy, you can say anything to a guy. You could say, oh, do you want to hear? You want to just drive all the way to some useless place and then drive all the way back? Guy will say, yeah. If a guy thinks you're hot, they'll do anything. They'll do anything. You can say anything. You can be wearing the most preposterous thing. You're hot. They don't care. All the things that you've said that a guy shouldn't do for you, you can do it to him, and he'll go, all right, cool. All right, cool. All right, cool. So who's bringing the problems to this relationship? So now let's go on to, we're past the cheap restaurants. The gym. A first date at the gym, that's pretty interesting. Hey, you want to go, you want to do back and buys today? Come on, we can go. I can spot you. So I'm on board with that. Starbucks, you're a little bit of a scumbag. Maybe I think you're weird. Maybe I think you're a freak and I want to meet you in a public place. I hate Starbucks, by the way. As Louis C.K. says, you push a button and someone's grandma's diarrhea comes out of there. I think it tastes awful. But if somebody said, let's go grab a coffee, is that Starbucks? Oh, and what's under Starbucks? Coffee dates. You're a scumbag. I will say that. You're a scumbag. I tried defending you. We got to number 18. You're a scumbag. Ice cream dates. I mean, there are movies where there's a couple eating ice cream, and I bet you this person didn't make a list of places that that is acceptable. It's fantasy football syndrome. I hate this league. I hate it the way it does. Nothing's good. Don't do that. Okay, can you suggest something? No. But this sucks. Don't do this. Don't do that. That's what it is. Everybody wants to tear down the government, and then wait, what about the new one? Oh, I never said anything about that. No, but you have to come up with it. Family functions, yes, absolutely. Movie night. Okay, what are you doubling up here? Somewhere that requires a long drive. Somewhere that requires a long drive. Just vagaries. What if it's... There are many places that require a long drive that would be desirable. Okay, bowling. I agree with you there. Nightclubs. Depends how old you are. A hookah bar, a bar just for drinks. Now, this is where you've just fully walked into scumbag territory. My guess is you don't even have a job, so who cares? But tell me, if two people are working, after work, you want to know what feels good? A drink. You want to know what feels better than that? 2 drinks. You want to know what feels even better than that? Meeting up with someone from the opposite sex for a first time. After work, getting multiple drinks. So that's a no-go? And what pissed me off, the last one is my go-to. Do you want to know what my go-to was? Big sporting event guy. If there was somebody, now I just got to disagree. I do feel, because I secretly believe that part of the date for a girl is they want to be able to like Snapchat it and send things out about it. Because you know how everybody is. It's not about my life. It's about what other people thinking my life is. So if you go to a live event, even if it's a comedy show, a sporting event, you get to upload your shitty little pic like you're doing something interesting. And I have, you ready for this? The scam of the week. There may be more than one, but here's one of them.
It's a scam.
That's a scam.
What a scam that was.
So this was all a scam, huh?
But my scam is you go to the NHL game, which is obviously the cheapest prices of the 4 sports, and you get the end zone seats, meaning you go where the road team shoots twice on the end. That's where you're going to get the cheapest tickets. If somebody's a hockey fan, they're not going to be all about it. But do you think a girl is going to know the difference between sitting at center right? Oh, I have a nice view of it going back and forth, and I can watch all here. No, they're just watching in random bits. They're checking their phone most of the time, and they're getting those bits. A goal is scored. They're uploading it. It's on their Snapchat. And you really don't have to pay that much. You're going to the 4th most popular sport. You're getting the end zone seats, which are the cheapest. You can't send her up top. You got to do it in the lower bowls. But like if I'm gonna go to an Islanders end zone on a Tuesday, what am I paying? 36 a ticket? And it's a great scam to get credit for a cool day, because it's all about when they report back to a gaggle of individuals. They're gaggle group text where you're being critiqued and ridiculed, which I just want to remind any girls out there, guys don't even have this. Guys don't even have this. Do you want to know what a guy's group text looks like? Nothing. When you eventually see the guy, they go, oh, did you hear? Nice. That's the equivalent of what the girls, man, they are like, imagine a 3D model of you in Westworld being built. They're doing the whole scan. And where did he take you? Oh, and what did you eat? And did he order? Did he order the drinks for you? Did he take out your check? How about this? Shut up! No! But yeah, there's a whole whole list of things that you can't do. And as I always tell you, the more you go online, the more you'll hate everybody. But that list didn't do anybody any favors. I'll tell you that right now. You know, I don't know if a lot of stems from this, a lot of this stems from like most dates and everything. It's all kind of different now. When you meet somebody online for the first time, it's just different than if you meet somebody in person. And then maybe you just have a little bit of the vibe from them at least, where I guess that expands your ability. Like you're less likely to need a coffee date if you met somebody out, had a conversation or two. Then it opens up more of those possibilities. So I guess to a certain extent I could understand some of them. But you know, a couple weekends back, I really had to take a piss. And I was on the streets of New York City. And I knew the place I was going. I was going to like this outdoor festival. I'm like, oh my God, there's not going to have any bathrooms there. So similarly to the way if I was burning hot on a summer day, I would fake walk in to Foot Locker to get that nice, fresh, cold air conditioning. Yeah, I would just look at some shoe and look at that. And, oh yeah, I wonder if the new ones are coming out this year. Just to stop sweating and get that air conditioning, I did the same exact thing with taking a piss, where I walk into a bar, and my trick there is I do the walk. I mean, this is borderline scam of the week. I do the walk as if my group is already there. So if there's like somebody you check in with, I give them that, you know, that head nod, and and you just keep walking forward. And then you go towards the tables, wherever those tables are, and you do that lean and look, and then almost like, oh my God, oh, he's looking for somebody. So somebody at the front would think, oh, he's clearly looking for somebody. So then in that process of looking, you find your way to the bathroom, and now you take the piss, and you've done what you needed to do. And now if they kind of catch you on the way out, you know, the deed has been done. But the whole worry is when you're walking to the bathroom, say, excuse me? That's what you're looking to avoid. And the funny thing was, you know, I invent these kind of things in my head. I was so well, I'm like, oh, they're going to see me. The girl at the front was just staring at her phone the entire time. I went in, took a piss, walked out, staring at her phone. It made me think, I would love to know the statistics of things that are missed on a daily basis because somebody was looking at their phone. Like, for example, has somebody missed out on truly meeting the love of their life? If this was 1997, would they have just met the love of their life? But because they're staring at their phone at some Wild Side challenge, you see that one on TikTok? They're looking at the Wild Side challenge, and the love of their life, who was going to say something, now didn't, or that natural little bump in that would have happened where someone would have said, hey, is the bathroom over here? Another great scam of mine. I used that one in Arizona, where if you're at a pool or something, you fake like you're there for the first time, and you say, like, do you know where the bathroom is? And then they'll, oh yeah, it's around the thing. And then on the way back, oh, thank you. And then that's your way in. I haven't talked about working your way in with girl scams in a while, but that was another one. But I do wonder, not just like you missed the love of your life, but how many everythings are missed. How many people are sneaking onto a college campus because the person in the booth thing is just looking down at his phone. So many things are missed because people are looking down at their phone. And it's just more of the statistics I want to see after this is all done here. I got a lot of things that I want to see. One of my friends, he notoriously said, I would like the full printout of all the hours amassed doing things that weren't actually productive with my life. And like the one he always uses, how many hours of my life on this earth were spent sitting on a toilet bowl? I want to know what percentage. Like what? Obviously, everybody wants to know how much they've slept. You like sleep 30% of your life away for the most part. But if you start divvying up the percentages, how long on a bowl, how long at the gym, how long at this, Yeah, there are going to be some pretty interesting metrics on that chart. I can't blame him. I would want to see those things. You know, speaking about that walk by, you won't meet the love of your life. I saw Mike McDaniel. Everybody's been seeing Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel, Taylor Swift, those are the two stars of the NFL this year. But I saw an interview he gave. Mike McDaniel, he told this story. Maybe I'll pull it for you if I'm in the mood. Maybe I won't. But he told the story.
So I was a greedy little autograph seeker. So I had a ton of cards, and my mom would work till about 7 p.m. every day. So I used Bronco training camp and summer break as
That was also daycare.
Right. I would leave the house at 7 a.m. I would ride over to training camp, go get autographs in the morning, watch practice, and I got Robert Del Pino in the morning. Well, later in the afternoon, I saw him again, and I had seen players shun people for getting multiple autographs, so I knew I was wearing a Charlotte Hornets fitted hat that was very loud.
Yeah.
I'm way ahead of the game. He knows that he's giving a Charlotte Hornets hat kid an autograph. He doesn't know a non-Charlotte Hornets hat kid. So took the hat off, got the autograph, and then...
Because what's better than one, Robert?
Two.
Two.
See? It's simple math that I knew as a 9-year-old. Ran back, hat wasn't there. Complete panic.
The next day, when McDaniel was back there was a new hat that was given to him. And it was because...
Same guy grabs me, and he gives me a hat, and the hat has a price tag on it. So the guy went out and bought me a hat.
Sweet.
I introduced that guy to my mom, and they ended up getting married.
And McDaniel, in his mind, thinks that this guy did it because he's a nice guy and I lost my autographed hat. No, he did it because afterward, McDaniel's mom came over to thank him, and McDaniel's mom was probably hot, and that guy wanted a way in. He pulled the Mike McDaniel, I'm buying you a hat to talk to your single mom who's standing over there and hot scam. And now they think it's some, oh my God, life intervened and it was a story to tell like that. I know a scam when I see it. That was the decoy hat purchase just so I can talk to that guy's mom. And then she also knows, wow, what a good guy. That guy was banking on the son going back to his mom. And she, well, where'd you get that hat? Who paid for that? That nice man over there, he gave it to me. And then they just picture the guy over there standing, waving at his mom. That guy pulled a fantastic scam. Mr. McDaniel, that's not going to be your last name because you're the stepdad. Whoever the hell you are, kudos, hell of a scam. From one scammer to another, that is a hell of a scam.
I knew that was a fucking scam. A fucking scam.
I'm picturing you standing there like the Kevin James meme that's went viral, which is preposterous to me. How can that go viral now? This like Kevin James meme, which is probably from King of Queens like 20 years ago. I need to know how these things randomly go viral now. Do you know what I'm talking about? Come on. This meme is everywhere. When college field goal kickers are kicking field goals, they have this Kevin James meme sitting in between the field goal posts. How? What facilitated this picture that's been around for 25 years? Actually, you know what? Maybe that gives me hope. Maybe that gives me hope. You know, this playlist, the You're Still Here podcast playlist, is going to have a Kevin James meme revelation in 20 years. They're going to say, where is this guy? We need to redo this podcast. And you want to know where I'm going to be? Probably in that Beetlejuice waiting room checking all my stats. And that is the end of this check-in November-October recap. And now we go back to doing some more sports videos, but know that I'm still here, and I'm happy you are too for the You're Still Here podcast. Make sure you're subscribed to it. You should probably click notifications. Wherever you're listening to this, you know these episodes come out sporadically at random times. I'm never going to not make them, so just know that they are coming out, so you should definitely be subscribed. Click the thing that allows you to know when there's a new episode uploaded. I always appreciate you coming back. Always happy to have you back. And I guess I will see you for the next time you guys want to come here and mess around. You can always feel free to check all my sports stuff. If I'm making a video, you know there's tomfoolery. So hopefully you're enjoying that. If you're one of these people who just found my YouTube page and you were looking for hockey videos or football videos, just know these ones are going to be nestled in there too. Because the only reason those videos exist is because these videos existed. So maybe check out some of the old ones and enjoy them while you're here. As I like to say, this is a potpourri podcast. It's not always topical. You don't have to watch. I talk about random things like how my teeth are like girls in the meatpacking district in New York. Yeah, they look fine on the outside. They look well put together. But if you check those inside, they're pretty goddamn rotten. All right, everyone, I'll see you for the next episode. Take it easy and enjoy whatever's left of the fall. Turn that jack-o'-lantern upside down. See ya.